Yes, so let's start our session. Today we will be starting with the machine learning essential. So before starting with the machine learning, at least we should be familiar with the terminologies, various terminologies of machine learning. Okay, because then only we will be able to understand the output of the algorithm. Okay, or you can say output of the model. Okay, which words will be used in the machine learning that we will be discussing today. So let's start. So first terminology is accuracy. Okay, first terminology is accuracy. So what do you mean by accuracy? So the in simple terms, we will call it that amount of correctly classified object. In terms, if we relate this term with the machine learning, then we can say that amount of correctly classified object are known as accuracy. Okay, so let's say out of 100 samples, okay, if 80 samples are classified correctly, okay, then we can say that accuracy is 80 percentage. Okay, why? Because 80 samples are classified correctly. Uh, so normally accuracy will be measured in terms of number. Okay, so we will have always number for accuracy where we will give the number in terms of percentage. Next terminology is algorithm. Okay, can anybody tell me the formal definition of algorithm? Okay, good. Anyone from class, you can unmute yourself and then you can uh, answer this question.
Sir, step-by-step procedure for solving a particular problem.
Okay. Uh, so, if you look at the formal definition of algorithm, okay, as per Corman, Thomas Corman, author from MIT. So, he has defined algorithm as a set of or sequence of finite number of steps. Okay, sequence or set of finite number of steps to achieve the output from the input. To achieve the output from the input. So here, why finite is more important? Because uh, if I will say infinite step, then there is no need of algorithm. Why? Because we never get output. So important thing, some of the important parameters of algorithms are whenever you are working or whenever you are writing, you are creating any algorithm, make sure it is having the finite number of steps, make sure it is covering the termination condition. Okay, let's say if I am writing 10 step and in first 3 step I am putting the infinite loop. Okay, then we cannot call it as algorithm. Why? Because it is not going to be terminated. So it should have finite number of steps, it should have a termination condition or exit point as well as it should have an entry point. Okay, so we cannot define a generalized algorithm where we have not specified any entry point. Okay, so it must have entry point, exit point, finite number of steps. Okay, so if you will combine all these things, then you can form the algorithm. So if you look at the formal definition of algorithm, then you can see a method, function, or series of instruction used to generate a machine learning model. So here they have given the definition of you can say algorithm with respect to machine learning. So the output of machine learning algorithm will be model. Previously, what as per definition we have said that we will have some input and we will have some output. But in case of machine learning, we will have trained model. We will have trained model as a output. Uh, Example they have given like linear regression for prediction, okay, which we can use to predict the value. For example, every day in routine we are getting the weather forecasting. So and you can say share price movement. So they will say that today Sensex will be 200 point or 500 point up and 200 or 300 point down. Okay, so that is a linear regression model. A regression model rather than linear, we will call it a regression model. So that we will use for prediction. Uh, Next terminology, it is attributes. So what is attribute? Attribute, or you can say feature. So attribute is like schema. Attribute is like schema in database. Okay, so attribute doesn't possess any value, but it will give you the indication, importance of that particular value. Okay, so table schema, if you look at the table schema of database, okay, then the column name doesn't specify any value. Okay, but it will give the significance, give the understanding, give the interpretation to that particular column. That for which purpose we are using this column. So same as attribute, a quality describing and observation. Okay, for example, size, color, weight, they have given the example in terms of Excel. If we compare it with the data set, okay, then the column name. Next is bias metric. We people are using this terminology frequently, bias. Okay, yes. So what is the meaning of it? Anyone from class? Yes, in simple term, we will call it partiality. In simple terms, we will call it partiality. Now, what is the need of partiality in machine learning? So, whenever, let's say you are having some set of data and you want to bias learning, you want to divert learning towards a specific class. Okay, so at that time, this bias will comes into the picture. Here in example, you can see we are having two example, low bias and high bias. So if your algorithm is not targeting a specific class for learning, okay, one of the good example is if I tell you to recognize some particular object and after telling you 5 or 6 times, still you are not able to recognize it, then I will bias your learning by specifying this, that if this kind of things are there, that means that. Okay, so I am biasing your learning. So that is lower bias. Okay, I will give you some characteristics. Some characteristics will be added in your training model, and I will bias the learning of algorithm towards a specific class. Okay, so it could mean every prediction is correct, means we will try to increase the accuracy for a particular class. Yeah, it could also mean half of your prediction are above their actual value and half are below in equal portion, resulting in low average difference. So the thing which I told you, that if you want to increase the accuracy, then we will bias. This bias will be in different form in different algorithm. For example, in the neural network, we will have clear and cut bias. We will directly give the value of B. Okay, weight input and bias. Okay, so by default, if you will keep it 0, then your learning won't be biased. Okay, but if you will keep it, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, then your learning will be diverted toward a specific class. What will be problem with the higher bias value? Okay, so if you will increase the bias, if you will increase the partiality, okay, then your function will be overfitted. Your model will be overfitted. Okay, this is something like you people are defining some rules in mathematics paper. Okay, if this what is there, then directly apply this equation. That's it. You will not consider other parameter in definition in problem statement. Okay, what you will do, you will simply look forward. Why? Because you have biased your learning very highly towards that particular word. If that particular word is occurring, then you will directly implement that equation. So that is a higher bias. Okay, so it will result into overfitting. Your learning is not done properly, so it won't be forwarded. It won't be reflected properly in your model. Okay, let's move forward. with the, yeah, low variance. Variance means this. Okay. So, what is the simple bias matrix? What is the average difference between your prediction and the correct value for the observation? Okay. So this is your expected, this is actual. Okay. So what you will do by doing bias? You will try to bring the actual towards the expected. That is bias. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we are doing biasing. We are doing biasing because we want to achieve the good accuracy. We want to improve the learning for a particular class by biasing the learning. Okay, so bias means you can say an extra input. Okay, in support vector classification, bias will be epsilon. Okay, that we will see. Yes, yes. No, what will happen in case of high bias? In case of high bias, your function will be overfitted. Your model will be overfitted. So it cannot go beyond particular boundary. There won't be learning kind of thing. There will be rule kind of thing. In high bias, there will be rule kind of thing. The way you people are doing in exam. Okay, that is the best example of high bias. If you will encounter a particular word in definition, then you will, without looking at all the detail, you will directly start working on that. Okay, so in high bias, you will divert your learning toward a specific class. So in case of multi-class classification, okay, where you are having, instead of only 0 and 1 class, let's say you are having 10 class. And if you will increase the bias, then it may happen that your model will be able to predict only class 2 object very well. Okay, why? Because it is highly biased towards the class 2. Okay, clear? Let's move forward. Categorical variable, okay, or categorical data. So this will be represented using discrete value. Okay, there are two type of value, continuous and discrete. Okay, so discrete value or some label. Categorical means variable with a discrete set of possible values can be ordinal, is order matters, or nominal. Order doesn't matter. Okay, order matters in most of cases. It will be a number. Okay, and order nominal doesn't matter. Order doesn't matter. Nominal most of the time it will be string. Okay, like we are giving the class label. Okay, that this object is of this class, this object is of this class. So name, class name, that will be nominal. Okay, and if we are giving class number, then it will become ordinal. Okay, but in ordinal variable, we have to look at the order. Next is classification. This is the most interesting terminology. Okay, you people are doing it in your routine. Every day you people are doing it. So, can anybody give me example of classification? Arranging book in shelf. How? Okay. Any
We
other
classify
examples?
sales into different categories.
Sir, we arrange
Yeah.
anything according to categories.
Okay. Is it necessary that whenever I will ask question, I always want a technical answer? You can give example of simple terminology. Yes. Yes.
Classification is a same product in different categories. We are defining with different properties of the same products.
Okay, let me give you the best example of classification. Okay, whatever decision you people are making, Okay, that is an example of binary classification. Okay, either yes or no. Okay, if it is yes, then you will move forward with the yes, and then you will further try to classify whether I want to follow this step in yes or no. Okay, so that is binary classification. There are two class, only yes and no. What is multi-class classification? Yes, if I will give you basket full of fruits, and then I will tell you that in which category I will give you another fruit, and I will ask you that in which category you will put it. Okay, then you will try to test it, try to match the color, size, all these things, and then accordingly you will give the label from multiple fruit family. Okay. Yes, on basis of multiple categories. Okay, in case of binary classification, we will have only two categories, 0 and 1. Okay, but in case of multi-class, we will have class label, different class label. Okay, for example, in case of fruit taste, okay, so if we try to categorize fruit using the with the attribute of taste, then it will be yeah, sweet, sour, pungent. So lots of labels will be there. Sweet and sour combinedly, sour and pungent, sweet and pungent, bitter. Yes. So multi-class classification means you will try to categorize into multiple class. Okay, whatever you people are seeing nowadays in the deep learning labeling, okay, that is the best example of multi-class classification. Okay, for example, if you look at the vision of Tesla car, okay, then yeah, then what they will do, it will try to identify multiple objects, means which are the human beings, which are the animal, which are the special sign, what is the traffic signal, okay, what is the interpretation of this. So all these are different classes, and each class will have its own label. So that is a best example of multi-class classification. Next is classification threshold. This is very interesting thing. Uh, Best example of this is whether we should take bath with hot water or not. Okay, how you will measure the, you can say, hotness of water? By frequently sensing it. Let's say if you are filling the bucket with hot water, then you will frequently sense it. And if it is very hot, then you will open the cold water tap. You will try to balance. It is also known as the most difficult task, specifically in winter. So here, threshold. Threshold means that limit. Threshold means that limit. Okay, if it is above that limit, that means we cannot take bath using that hot water. Okay, if it is below specific limit, then also we cannot take bath because it is too cold. Okay, but if it is in between that range, okay, so that range will specify the threshold. Yes. This will be more useful whenever you are using neural network. Whenever you will try to classify an object into a particular class, it will give you probability that this object is belonging to this class with the probability of 90%. This object is matching to this particular class with probability of 70%. So what you will see, what you will do, you will set the threshold that list all the class which are having the probability above 80%. Okay, so if a particular object is matching with other class with the probability more than 80%, all those class will be displayed. Okay, so this classification threshold is it's a kind of filtration. It's a kind of filtration. Let's say we want to see only one result, then we can say that more than 90% or more than 85%. If I want to see more result, then let's say I will reduce this threshold to 70 or 75 or 65. So threshold is like filtering process. Clustering. So clustering is like I will give you objects which are completely unknown to you, which are completely unknown to you, and then I will ask you to classify them. So what you will do? Yes, yes, exactly. What you will do in case of clustering, it is an example of unsupervised learning where you don't have class level. You don't know in which class this sample will belong. So based on the similarity, it will group them. It will group them. Okay, and that group is known as cluster. Okay, so for generating this group, we will again go with the mathematical terms. There are two type of similarity measures. One is Euclidean distance and another is Manhattan distance. Okay, so we will use two measures to form the cluster. Okay, all of you are clear with this? Anybody is having any doubt till now? Yes, from online session, online class, anybody is having any doubt with any terminology? Okay, so let's move forward with the next terminology. This is the most interesting thing, okay, because in Veka, whenever you will use any classifier, output will be in form of confusion matrix. Okay, if you will refer to the Veka output, then at the end they have given the confusion matrix. So what is confusion matrix? So in confusion matrix, you can see we are having four classes: true positive, true negative, false positive, and false negatives. Let me give you one example so you will have a very good idea. But before giving the example, just have a look at this part. So this is actually matrix of actual versus predicted. Okay, means input versus output classification. Where in input we know the class level of all the classes, and in prediction we will try to predict those same outputs so we can know that what is the accuracy of model. So if it is belonging to class 1 and it is classified as a class 1, then it is known as true positive. Then it is known as true positive. Why? Because it is already belonging to class positive and it is classified as a class positive. What is true negative? It is belonging to class negative and algorithm has classified it as a negative. Okay, true positive and true negative means it is belonging to positive and algorithm has identified it as correctly. It has correctly, or you can say positive. Okay, while in case of negative, it is belonging to class negative and algorithm has identified it as a negative. Now, you people have studied row echelon form in matrix. Okay, so the purpose of training algorithm, purpose of training any model, preparing any model. Okay, the ideal model should have only two values, that is true positive and true negative. Okay, true positive and true negative means all correct or positive class object should be identified as a positive and negative should be identified as a negative. Okay, but where we are facing issue, we are facing issue because of false positive and false negative. Okay, what is false positive? No, no. No, it is not like that. That can be part of fuzzy logic. FUZY, fuzzy logic. Fuzzy logic. Okay, so in fuzzy logic, we will be considering multiple class. But in this case, this is the confusion matrix for binary classification. There are only two classes, good and bad. Okay, and we are having issue with false positive and false negative. What is false positive? False positive means by mistake they are identified as a good or class positive. Actually, it is belonging to class negative, but by mistake they are identified as class negative. What is false negative? Actually, they are good. Okay, actually they are good or class positive, but by mistake it is identified as a class negative. Okay, what is your role? What is your purpose? Your purpose or your role is to develop algorithm or to train them in such a way that this false positive and false negative will be always zero. Okay, and where this is the place where entire world is trying to put efforts. Okay, even Tesla is recognizing some false pattern. If you will search on YouTube, then you will find the videos where they will mention that Tesla is identifying ghost. Okay, in monitor it will show you that one person is moving. Okay, but if you look at with your eye, okay, then you won't find anyone. Why? Because by matching with the background, it is creating the pattern of human being. Okay, that is a place where Tesla is making the mistake. It is identifying that negative as a positive. That is negative, but it is identifying it as a no. That is a problem. That in that case you uh, so it will not allow you to move forward. It will stop there. Then it will create more problem. Okay, so this is a problem with machine learning. We have to develop algorithm. We have to tune the hyperparameter in such a way that this false positive and false negative become zero. Okay, even human are not perfect. We are also making lots of mistakes in detecting the object. For example, if I will give you an artificial fruit, okay, and I won't allow you to touch it or taste it, then there will be high probability that you will categorize it as a real fruit. So there are lots of things. Either you can improve my learning visually, or you will add more feature to identify the real fruit from the fake one. Anybody is having any doubt in this? True positive, true negative, false positive and false negative? Anybody from online class? All of you are clear with this? Okay, let's move forward. Next definition is continuous variable. So previously we have discussed categorical, or you can say uh, discrete variable. Okay, but here in continuous variable we will have sequence of values. For example, temperature reading of a day. Okay, so if we start with 12 a.m., then it will be minimum. At midnight, it will be lower. Then it will gradually increase towards as we approach towards the morning. Then it will be increased more towards we approach the noon, and afternoon it will be higher till some time, and then gradually again it will drop or decrease. Okay, so continuous variable will have multiple values compared to the discrete or you can say nominal or categorical. Next is convergence. A state reached during the training of model when the loss changes very little between each iteration. Now, convergence is almost similar to the learning, your learning rate. What is your learning ability? How fast you are learning? Yes. Loss means error. Okay, loss means error. We will see in more detail. Don't worry about it. But in simple terminology, convergence means how early you are diverting towards the learning. Yes, I mean, yes, this is the part of terminology. So definitely it will be there. Yeah, but you should be clear with the concept. No, no example, no. Because in definition we require technical terminology, technical words. So you can change it little bit as per your understanding. Okay, but we need to write the technical word. Yes, technical words must be there. But let me tell you that you won't need to remember this because in each output, you people are going to observe all these things: confusion matrix, what is convergence, then continuous variable. You will observe in you can say pre-processing, data pre-processing, classification. You will identify by loading the data set. So this will become very normal thing for you once you will use this with multiple data set and algorithms. Yes. No, no, no. Here we won't stick to words. Deduction. So this terminology we will use whenever we will be studying the algorithms. Okay. So if you look at the formal definition, then you can see a top-down approach to answering question for solving the problem. So this is something like you will inquire some information. You will inquire some information. So it is a logical technique that start with the theory and test the theory with observation. Means you will start with one theoretical approach. You will try to map it with the real world. Ask question, map it. Ask question, map it. Okay, and then you will come to a conclusion. Okay, for example, we suspect X, but we need to test our hypothesis before coming to any conclusion. Okay, so what we will do, we will ask multiple questions and then we will try to predict the value. Next is deep learning. Okay, this is the, you can say, topic which is in limelight at present. Okay, because Google, Apple, Tesla, okay, all these tech giants are behind this. Microsoft, even Microsoft. For deep learning, from where deep learning came? Deep learning is a subset of machine learning. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning. In deep learning, we will be focusing on neural network only. We will be focusing on neural network only and internal workings of neural network. Now, what is the let me give you some example of deep learning. You can say some topics which can be part of deep learning. For example, in neural network, there is a terminology called hidden layer or processing layer. That there is a terminology called input layer. So through input layer, you will give input to neural network. Okay. If we consider the human being, then our input layer is uh, eye, nose, mouth, ear. Okay, as well as all the sensory organs. Okay, including skin. So that will be our input layer. What will be our output? Okay, so based on the input, whatever decision we will take. Okay, for example, by mistake, if you will touch any hot vessel, then immediately you will move backward or you will take away your hand or whatever body organ you have touched. Okay, so yeah, reflection or you can say reaction rather than reflection, we can say reaction. So that will be output layer, and from input to output, whatever internal process you have done, that is hidden layer. It will be done by your brain. Okay, so in our case, input and output layer are visible to us, but hidden layer or processing layer means our brain. It is not visible to us. Okay, so that also we will see that how neural network works. Dimension. Okay, so dimension means most of the time people are considering that one dimension means dot. Okay, two dimension means line. Three dimension means shape. Okay, and beyond three dimension, it is known as hyperdimension. It is known as hyperdimension, and shape in hyperdimension is known as hyperplane. It is known as hyperplane. Okay, shape in more than three dimension. It is known as hyperplane. Okay, now here meaning of hyperplane don't get confused with simple plane. Okay, hyperplane can have any shape, any size, anything. Okay, hyperplane means boundary in higher dimension. Now, meaning of that dimension and meaning of dimension in data science are totally different. Okay, so just don't get confused with it. Here, dimension means number of attribute, number of columns in your data set. Okay, and it will happen that let's say if my data set is having 1000 attribute, okay, and I want to train the model, then I may not select all the 1000 attribute or 1000 column. Out of 1000, I will filter some of the column and I will select, let's say, 500. So that 500 will become my 500 dimensions. Whoa. No, there are lots of algorithm. Like let's say lazy learner, k nearest neighbor is there, then decision tree is there, support vector machine is there, naive Bayes. किसके किसमें deep learning is specifically focusing on neural network. So in deep learning we will be focusing more on neural network. How to make machine think like human being for decision making. Okay, but we will be focusing on only on neural network, convolution and deep neural network and fuzzy neural network. So you can also combine fuzzy logic with neural network. Epoch. Epoch means iteration. So if you are going through one iteration of your algorithm, that will become one epoch. Okay, in terms of let's say neural network, from input to output, once you will iterate through all the hidden layers, it will become one epoch. Extrapolation. I will train a model and I will ask model to classify it for unknown sample for which it is not trained. Okay, so making prediction outside the range of the data set. If there is any unknown sample, this is something like exam. If you are clear with the concept, means if you are clear with the learning, and if there is any question, any theory, any numerical based on that concept, okay, then if you have learned it properly, then you will answer it. Okay, but if you mock up everything, then you won't. Why? Because question is totally changed and it is asked based on the concept. False positive. This is the most interesting measure. Here you can see what they are. FPR, false positive rate, equals to 1 minus specificity. What is specificity? So false positive rate can be calculated using false positive divided by false positive plus true negatives. Okay, false positive plus true negative. Let's have a look at false positive plus true negative. So the purpose of finding out the FPR is to find out the negative learning. To find out the negative learning. Okay, because here you can see both are at the bottom layer, false positive and true negative. Okay, so it is dealing with negative learning. Okay, so the value of this FPR should be as low as possible. As low as possible. Okay, because it will indicate the learning, better learning. Feature. Columns of your data set and value of that particular column for that particular object, it is known as feature of that object. Okay, so if I give you a simple example, then in database people have studied record. Okay, so for a particular record, whatever value of particular cell is there, that same value in machine learning will become the feature. It will become the feature. So in today's lecture, we will keep up to this. Okay. If anybody is having any doubt, then they can ask. Otherwise, you can put your attendance in chat box and then you can leave.